Welcome to Sports Trebuchet, issue number 15. I'm Marty.
I'm Kyle.
Josh.
And we're here to have a very, very, very cool episode. I think it's the most I've been excited about an episode in at least one. We're going to start the show with Kyle's Corner, let him kind of take off. There's a question from a listener in there, too, that he's going to throw in. So let's get started, Kyle.
Sure. So, as everybody knows, I'm a big basketball guy, so... yeah, I know, whatever. NCAA tournament's been going on, and gotta say, it's been kind of an underwhelming tournament. It's been very chalky. I don't like the fact that there hasn't been as many upsets. There were a couple of upsets, the first round, but none of those teams really made it through other than Oregon into the Sweet 16. Other than that, we've got 12 of the 14 seeds, or 14 of the 16 teams left are top 4 seeds. So it's just complete chalk. The teams that were supposed to be there are there. And on top of that, the second round was not full of very many good games.
I guess technically the teams that are supposed to be there are there, which is the least fun.
Yeah, right?
Exactly,
yeah.
Like maybe they finally got the seedings right.
They got the seedings right. Yeah, this is the best year for the committee.
Yeah, the committee looks like
they nailed it. But there just hasn't been that many great games. Aside from the Duke UCF game and the Tennessee Iowa game, that was fun. There just hasn't been. There's been a ton of games that have been decided by 10 plus points, where it's just that's not fun watching down the stretch.
Well, I think it's almost the benefit of like the general public being in for it too. Mm-hmm. Is if you're one of those like 12 seed or Cinderella 12 seed teams, then everybody's cheering for you.
Yes.
So if you're like dipshit state in Tennessee and you have no chance, but you're in the Elite Eight, everyone's cheering for you. Yeah. Where it's those top 14 of the 16, it's their alumni or fans that are really excited, and then like really no one else.
It's the Blue Bloods. It's Duke, it's UNC, it's Kentucky, it's Michigan State, it's Michigan, it's...
Well, so finally, I guess, then they get that big heavyweight, like, who survives it, because there's been a lot of...
I still think the best team out there is UNC. I think that they're the most. I think they're the most tournament.
I keep hearing that they're trash, but we're in like a pretty split Duke and UNC office. So
we're in the most biased office.
Any of those takes.
Every time I've watched the thing that sets them aside, Duke might get there on athleticism, but they're not a good shooting team. Yeah. It is one of the worst Duke shooting teams I've seen in a long time. They do not have good outside shooting. They're not a good foul shooting team. They, for all intents and purposes, should have lost to UCF. But UNC, they've got great senior leadership with Luke May in the middle of...
Is that a white guy?
He is, yeah. But he's a forward, and he...
UNC specialty is a white forward.
He killed Duke at Duke. He was great. He has the ability to step out and hit a three, but he can make a living with that mid-range jump shot, and it's so hard to guard, especially in today's game. Then they have guys like Kobe White and Nasir Little, who are freshmen, who are just playing great. I don't see... And Cam Johnson, who just doesn't have a bad game, it feels like.
Does everybody get on the Gonzaga, even though they're a 1-seed bandwagon? You think?
I think so. I think so. Just because they're an extremely fun team to watch. They're the best scoring team in the country.
They're the Boise State of college basketball too, where they're just. Constant.
Well, they're also the only team, the first team to take down Duke this year, and they were at full strength.
That's awesome.
So
Duke was at full strength.
Duke was at full strength, and Gonzaga beat them by a point at the end of the game. They're a very good team, very good. All foreigners, very good.
That's your team, Gonzaga.
There you go.
They do sound like a cheese. So
are they the ones you had picking the whole in your bracket thing?
No, I have Texas Tech winning the whole
thing. They're still alive. They're still alive.
It's so wild. The Texas Tech wins. Josh
that was a team that wasn't.
Yeah, no, I am. I think I'm the only person in the entire company that picked Texas Tech to win. So
Very
if
possible.
I win,
it's a little off
I'm gonna nail my picks all the way up at that point.
They were expected to be one of the worst teams in the Big 12 this year.
Texas Tech was.
Yeah, and they came out and smoked teams.
The ghost of Bob Knight came out.
Yeah. They have this kid, Jarrett Culver. He's awesome.
Yeah, they're talking about him being a top 5 pick.
Might be.
If he keeps doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
Now, I don't follow squeakball, but have you ever trained a specialty player to be able to lose it from all the way from one end to the other? Do you reckon you could train someone to be able to do that?
To shoot shoot full court shots all day long? There are people in the NBA that can hit those fairly consistently, but it's not a high percentage shot.
It's already not high percentage, and also if that's your only bit, then it wouldn't be hard for the defense to press and just be on you. So
it doesn't have to be. No, but it can be part of your weaponry.
So right when they least expect it, just chuck it from 65 feet out, and
just know that they've always got that in your locker.
I guarantee there's probably 10 players in the NCAA that are 80% shooters from that distance.
I wish they'd do it.
without any, obviously, any defense or any stakes. They do it all the time.
That'd be great.
Have you ever tried to do it?
What? A full court?
No. Yeah.
I've done a half court before.
Brother.
I won £5 for it.
Did you really?
Yeah. There was 2 lads that were way more athletic than me, and they were like, "Josh, I bet you can't hit that." And I was like, "Okay," and I absolutely loved it, and it went in, and everyone went wild, and I got £5, and I bought a burger for dinner.
Half court, it never seemed like it was hard for me to get to the basket, but at 3/4,
I've hit a 3/4.
Have you really?
Yes.
God, I feel like I've never come close.
It was ball at the end of a quarter. Grab a rebound. I'm coming out. I'm going full speed. I'm launching.
Did it count?
Yeah.
Nice. Was it in a game, a high school game?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Well, it was a modified game. It was 7th or 8th grade. It was one of those two.
I don't think I could get the power.
That's the hardest part. I guess if you're running forward, it's not too tough. But standing there, it's almost like the tennis ball trick. If you throw the tennis ball as hard as you can, you rip your arm out of its socket because you're not adjusting for the weight. With basketball, I do the opposite. I'm like, okay, don't want to throw it too hard. It just rolls off the fingertips and dribbles on the free throw line.
Right, if I had a run up, I could probably get it there, but it would be so wayward. It probably wouldn't even go near.
Well, also, the courts that we're playing on at that point, they're not regulation size, so it's probably more like a 5/8 court.
Yeah, that's.
I think if I was to try that, I'd reckon board in the windows before.
What do you think you could do? What do you think you could do first if you were at full court throwing a basketball in the net or kicking a soccer ball through the net at full court?
The soccer ball.
How many attempts do you think it would take?
The only reason why I think I can do it is because I can already kick that far with reasonable accuracy.
But it's the accuracy that is.
No, but I already have that part.
You definitely need bank shot.
So it would have to.
If you nothing but netted. Soccer
so flat. Oh, God.
It would take me a long time. let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Let's not start recording at the first attempt.
Let's not the dicks quite yet. This is probably going to be 150 attempts before I do it, but it would probably be closer to 300 with a basketball throw.
So as part of your corner, Jeff and Charlotte brought up what happened during the tournament.
Yes, one of the more notable things that's happened so far.
And he put, with all the hoopla, that was his word, about Tom Izzo grabbing his player, can you guys speak about coaches acting crazy or unhinged? And he also put, obviously not only basketball, but in general, feelings about it.
So to me, the Tom Izzo thing isn't as crazy as everybody thinks it is. I mean, it's questionable to grab your player,
this is a sport that employed the previously mentioned Bob Knight.
Yes, and if you're comparing to Bob Knight chucked a chair across a court, right. Bob Knight basically choked a kid,
Right, and we're not 20 years removed from any football coach in the South running 3-a-days and almost killing every player on his team from heat exhaustion.
Yeah. So to me, this it just doesn't feel as egregious as everybody's making it out to be. I'm not a fan of, laying a hand on somebody, grabbing their arm and kind of pulling them. That's weird to me. But probably the worst part about it was the lunge during the...
certainly.
During the huddle. You've already said your piece. What are you doing at that point? That's a bad look. But pointing and yelling at a kid... Also, timing is a little weird when they're just on a 10-0 run.
Right.
But
Well, and I've said, like, how it's my wife's kink to watch Nick Saban freak out about a 30-point lead and just, like, a mistake happen. Yeah. A place kicker getting, fucking something up. But I feel like the disconnect for a lot of people because, like, if when Tim Duncan made a mistake and Pop would light into his ass, that's one thing. And I'm wondering if it's, for a lot of people, the fact that you have unpaid athletes and quite literally a millionaire coach that's losing his cool. And if there's anybody here that's supposed to lose their cool, it's the 20-year-old
He's a freshman.
College.
He's an 18-year-old.
An 18-year-old freshman, an 18-year-old freshman in college. Not being able to hold it together emotionally.
Not a legendary coach that's one of the top 5 highest paid public figures in that state.
Right. If not one of the... He might be... Oh, I forget that Harbaugh and the Michigan... Yeah. I forget UM's there.
But he's definitely top 5 because Michigan State's a...
Right. Because I got yelled at in, like, football practice. Sure. And I imagine you got yelled at, like, in football camp and stuff, right?
I think we all did.
I got a medical... box, like a kicked at me after a game because I didn't follow somebody quick enough.
We had at McKinney North High School, and I'll use his name. He was the basketball coach. His name was Coach Kraft, and he was an absolute dipshit and the worst math teacher I ever had in my life. Mm-hmm. And he grabbed a kid by the neck.
Oof.
And Coach Kraft is like 6'4", 250, kind of out of shape since he used to play. And he was a dickhead, and this kid that he choked, I can't remember his name for the life of me, but he was like 5'9" and could dunk. Like, he was just a pure athlete, maybe had an attitude problem, whatever, but Coach Kraft grabbed him by the neck, and the kid swung and knocked Coach Kraft out. Just fucking decked him. And I think the kid only got, like suspended for a week or something, because he was in the right. Like, because it's fucked up.
Yeah.
I guess I don't have a problem with him yelling
and pointing. I have no problem with that. Grabbing, not great.
Jumping at a kid it's falling in the same category for me as like someone that's weaving through 3 rows of traffic. Just fucking have some tact.
Well, especially since now you're in the huddle. It didn't just happen.
Right.
There's been some time, like a little bit of time in between. Where
you had a chance to think about it, and you decided...
You've already said your piece.
You decided this would be the time to lunge and bait the kid into... It's a no-win situation for that kid, unless he did what he did, which was play it cool.
Yeah.
I think the age/status definitely plays a big part in it, because you look at the Chelsea game in the League Cup just a couple of weeks ago where Kepa refused to come off the pitch. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah.
So
the keeper that was just like, no, fuck off. And just like,
Sarri went mental on the side. Like, he went ballistic.
And he should.
But he's a 24-year-old man who's being paid millions of pounds to do as he's told by his manager.
Yeah.
Like, it's a different situation. And, like, back in the day, the biggest one in football was Sir Alex Ferguson threw a football boot at David Beckham and hit him in the head and actually cut him open.
Jesus.
This is, like, early 2000s, and that was a big story at the time, obviously. But...
So he came in with the spikes. Spikes on.
He absolutely decked him, yeah. And
it brings more importance to that Austin Powers question of honestly who throws a shoe.
What? Yeah.
but that like at school, like it's a kid, like in the States they're not paid. Like I think that's the big difference maker with it. Like it goes from drama to dick move.
That and the grabbing the player. You usually don't put your hands on anybody.
I think there's a way to do it, right? You can lay your hands on a kid, but it's like
arm on his back,
or if you're trying to focus him, like you'll see Jim Harbaugh doing his bullshit on the sidelines, where he's like, I think he does like the quarterback where he's slapping the helmet and getting him in the zone before a game and stuff. Like obviously that's cool.
This was more of a grab the wrist and pull,
right?
Where it's like you're what you do to like a petulant child when they're not.
When they're when they're about to run in front of the road.
Yeah, or when they're just being absolutely obnoxious and throwing themselves around in the store, and you have to grab their arm like, no, we got to go.
That's good to know that Kyle plans on laying a hand on his future children if they get out of line. That is wicked, right over the eye. Does he still have that mark on his eyebrow?
No, he probably does have a scar.
It's a beauty scar. It's a beauty mark now.
Yeah, he's still so fucking hot.
But yeah, Bex took it.
Josh wasn't here for when we ranked the hottest dudes in sports, and I think Beckham was number 1, wasn't he?
I don't even remember.
He had to be. It's been so long ago.
It was. A-Rod was up there.
Don't go check out that episode.
Yeah, don't.
And not Glenn Murray?
Yeah, that was patchy. The patch.
It's Drew Gooden with that patch back here.
Do you have anything else for your corner before we skip?
No, I think we're good.
Okay, cool. So we're doing a WrestleMania 35 preview, but before we get there, we have 2 questions. One relates to WrestleMania. This first one does not. Kyle in Texas asks, Conor McGregor retired from MMA and Rob Gronkowski retired from the NFL. What's their future tag team?
Mojo Rawley's wet dream.
Do you think what if Conor managed Mojo and Rob and he just did all the talking? It was just like a constant bleep and like a muted sound because WWE had to keep killing it. By the way, do y'all know why Conor McGregor retired?
No.
You see, he got he's under investigation.
Oh yeah,
I did see
so
that.
the announcement to retire was just a few hours before that got released to the public.
And then also said, it has nothing to do with that.
It's like he's playing tag and he's like, no, home base. It's like, I'm retired. I'm home good.
He's a clown.
The McGregor isn't even that good, let's be fair. He's the Ronda Rousey of the male division.
What would be interesting, though, is that with McGregor and Gronkowski, you literally have the real-life version of Enzo and Cass.
Essentially,
from a size perspective, from how they act perspective, and
I've kind of turned the corner on Gronk a little bit because he's actually like one of the smartest dudes out there. Have you heard what he's done money wise?
No,
he has not touched a single cent from his signing bonuses or his actual NFL contracts.
Well, there's being smart and then hiring a financial advisor, which maybe he just had.
Well, he's been living in a fairly modest house, and
I mean, you've got to be able to do both, though.
Yeah, and
because you can have as many financial advisors. When people win the lottery, at least in the UK, most of them get assigned a financial advisor if it's over 7 figures. Doesn't stop 90% of them spunking it over the wall in 6 months.
But all he's lived off of is his endorsements. And a lot
that is really smart.
And a big part of that. Big part of that is I'm not so sure that he is the person that he portrays because it might be a gimmick.
Right.
It might be him, the Yo Soy Fiesta. It might be him just marketing himself. And he's got like $60 million in the bank that he's never touched. Retiring at 29.
Depending on what comes out on Conor, it will absolutely be at Mania though. That's my bold prediction. Just keeping it on the Mania.
We might actually have a tag. We might actually have that tag team because Gronk might be there too.
He'll be with Finn.
Connor.
Yeah.
Finn. I don't know how much I like that.
He'll be out there to take down Leo Rush.
So the eye to eye, I think.
I'm just saying.
I don't know how much I like that.
I think to end this, let's give a future tag team name, right? Let's get this question. I'm trying to figure out how I incorporate 69 into any of it because that's Gronk's bit. But also he spikes the football. So you gotta talk this out with me here, guys. You're leaving me on an island. I have no idea where to go.
I don't know where you're
going. McGregor's Scottish, right? McGregor's Scottish?
He's Irish.
Ooh, so potato famines, potentially. Potatoes look like footballs. What is Finn Balor's finishing move? The 1979?
No, it was
Finn Balor's.
He had
No. He had
the other one
that he called Sunday Bloody Sunday. What was the?
It was the year that happened.
Because if it is 1983, that's not even close. No, Bloody Sunday was in 72. That's unfortunate. There's really nothing I got here.
I'm trying to.
What if it was just a shot at TNA and they just called them Impact because one played football and it's an impact sport, and Conor McGregor punches people and forces impact?
Yeah.
What about just combining it and it's McGronkowski?
McGronkowski.
Or just McGronk.
McGronk.
Rob Connor.
Spike you Guinness.
Guinness Spikes.
I know, I was trying to fit it in afterwards.
That's rough.
Then you have to bring in Sheamus.
But given his latest foray, Conor McGregor's, maybe he is spiking too many Guinnesses.
4-leaf clover, but the C and the L are shaped.
Move, surely.
But the C and the L, oh, for sure. Oh my god, yeah. The C and the L are shaped like a 6 and a 9 on all the graphics. Let's move on. So one of the questions was from Ed J. Cranfill. He said, first, I want to apologize for making fun of the British guy's quiz. My condolences to his family.
Don't ever.
And all they have sacrificed. Has there...
No, he's brought shame upon his house.
Yeah, they haven't talked to him since the quiz. Has there... He said, find us on a map now, bitch. Has there ever been an inclement weather WrestleMania before? The temperature Sunday in New Jersey don't look very fun or nip-friendly right now.
Well, the last one in New Jersey was fairly good, wasn't it?
So it was. And I looked it up. So WWE has escaped heavy rainfall every Mania. So lucky them, I guess. Never a full thunderstorm.
Okay.
WrestleMania 24 was in Orlando, and there was rain near the pre-show.
Yeah, I remember the rain.
But it wasn't too long. It didn't take long to clean up, and it didn't last that long. And it's Florida, so all those storms are flashes anyway.
Yeah.
And then WrestleMania 29, it began to rain during the pre-show. It started raining in the minute that The Miz won the Intercontinental Championship, and then stopped shortly thereafter. And otherwise, nothing.
What about Mania 9?
Fuck.
It was in Vegas.
It would have been inside, right?
No, it was kind of outside.
I doubt Vegas had.
I want to say it was like
place in Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas Casino.
It was outside.
Yeah, you're right. The picture's outside. Well, based off the pictures, it looks very clear.
Okay, I thought it was like windy as fuck or something like that.
It could be, but you know that's an interesting point because the weather report for Sunday. I looked at this coming Sunday, so it doesn't even fucking matter what the weather report's at because it's the week after, and I fucked up my dates. But consistently, they've been windy up there, 10 miles an hour or so.
Well, that's not too bad.
No, but I wonder if it maybe is like the difference in Shane McMahon dying or not when he jumps way too far for his old ass to be jumping. He's doing a coast to coast and the wind just gusts him over the top rope.
Well, here's another thing to look at is these outside ones, especially like when they start, maybe even the Santa Clara one. How hot was it? Heat could have, like, I don't know how much it would...
March and April, I feel like it's pretty forgiving.
San Francisco area is pretty mild.
Because at max, you're talking 80, right? Like anywhere in the country that's not Arizona. And maybe even Arizona's at the 80 mark. And it's in Sunset.
I mean, we don't know what it's going to look like yet, because it's like 10 days out. But I'm sure that they're prepping for the super cold. Like, if it does drop again, I'm sure they have some kind of lighting that, like, also brings through the heat into the ring.
More, like... It sucks to do anything in the cold weather, but, like, to wrestle...
Oh, like I said, I don't think it'll affect the ring. I think they'll have things in place. They may even have heaters under the ring.
They got those heaters that they hang above outside patios at restaurants, just above the ring.
I think they will. They use technologically advanced.
They use the catering candles.
It's the same one.
They just put a bunch of catering candles underneath the ring.
Just moths.
It catches fire. Everyone thinks cane's coming out, but it's actually just legit on fire, and they're panicking.
Everyone thinks they brought back the Inferno match.
Yeah, every match is an Inferno match if someone goes into the ring. Titus comes out for the Battle Royal, sets the whole place ablaze.
It becomes the worst stadium catastrophe in the history of the world.
Best thing that could happen in New Jersey, though.
Yeah, you're right.
Cool that happening in New Jersey.
You're right. I don't know. I've always thought this about doing Mania in New York City the two times that they've done it outside, at MetLife or the first one was at MetLife too.
Yeah. That was 29, I think,
Man,
right?
they are, yeah. They're playing with fire at that point. You know, they're really asking for it. Late March, early April in New York City, not always great.
And MetLife don't have a roof, does it?
No.
It doesn't have a retractable.
No, and that's the thing. It's like, I already don't really like going to wrestling live a lot of the times because I can't afford the seats that I always want. So it's always kind of like, for especially a bigger venue, right? Like whenever they play Charlotte at the Spectrum Center.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I can't imagine being on you're on the second level in an arena. Your seats are already kind of meh.
And they always already have that canopy that they usually put over top.
That fucks up your view. Yeah.
So you're having to watch the screens anyways.
And then just to be out there to be able to cheer with everybody while you're freezing your dick off.
Yeah.
As
the heat would be nice.
The only thing that would be really, really cool, I think, would be like that. It was it Seth and Dolph that did the Iron Man last year, right?
Yes.
Was it the 60
No,
minute?
That was at Rumble, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was at Rumble. Last year was Seth, Finn, and Miz for the Intercontinental.
Yeah.
No, I'm not talking Mania. I'm sorry. I'm talking about like general match.
Oh,
a 60-minute Iron Man match.
Yes.
If in the 15th minute it starts slowly raining, and then raining a little bit harder, and like the same way I look at Gavin Rossdale and Bush playing in the rain, and it's like, man, how iconic! It sucks for everybody else. But it might be pretty cool to end a match that way, and that'd be it.
Well, I don't think they would get wet because underneath that canopy, everybody else, though, would be out there.
Oh, that's a good point. Maybe they take it into the stands.
The thing is, who is going to go into the stands, or at least fight around it. You're at least having the triple threat do that. So whoever you have winning that...
The women's triple threat?
Yeah. Like, they're going to get... One of them, at least one of them is going to get busted open.
And Vince, just to make a throwback, just says... I'm going to turn this into a wet t-shirt show.
He starts throwing pudding out in a kitty pool.
He goes out there, he makes every one of them wrestle in a white t-shirt.
Yeah, just listen. Listen, pal. Let's get to the matches.
You may have dyed your hair, Alexa, but I've got a new gimmick for you.
It's the host.
As the host, you have to wear white cotton.
And no bra.
I've got some breaking news for you, though.
Yeah?
JoJo and Bray Wyatt are expecting.
Oh, my goodness.
So congratulations, Bray. I know you're a big fan of the show.
Good on you. Didn't that ruin a marriage?
Listen.
Didn't that ruin a marriage?
Can't wait for him to tell his kids stories. It's like, listen, man.
He's on the rocking chair.
He's got a lamp.
Every time he says goodnight,
kid pops out with a fedora and a chin beard.
He tries to
dreads, white boy dreads.
He tries to train him to become like track stars, so he's just always going, run
all the time.
What kind of poop was it, honey? Run. Our first match, we're going to go in the order that these matches were decided and announced. It comes up when we talk about the Roman McIntyre match, so we're going to hold it. So the first match, Brock Lesnar, Universal Champion against Seth Rollins.
The reigning, defending,
undisputed.
Y'all are the worst people.
Universal Champion.
I'm ready.
Brock.
I think consensus here is we're all... What the fuck was that?
That was him. That was his mouth, I think.
It wasn't. Someone tweeted me. God damn it.
I was going to say, I want that loud.
That was a tweet deck noise. Yeah, that's
it was well timed.
Thanks a lot, dickhead. We all want Seth Rollins to win, right?
Yes. I need the belt off of Lesnar. I'm sick of it being up in North Dakota.
Well, Josh and... Yeah.
Well,
Rena...
we've talked about this yesterday, and we were talking about the fact that it's going to be unlikely that we get Lin Chan Kofi winning, right? And I said it's not unlikely if they give Brock the strap and have him lose it to Reigns at Money in the Bank. Would you take Kofi and Becky winning for Brock to win? If that was the only option you had?
Yeah, I think I would.
I wouldn't.
I think I would just because Just because I don't see Kofi, if he loses, being able to get back to that.
Me either.
I see if Rollins does lose to Lesnar, it's not going to be very hard for him to get back into the main event picture.
I think
because everyone's lost to Lesnar.
Yeah. I think
so he's in the best spot.
I think Rollins wins. I think Dean in his last show ever and Roman come down to congratulate him.
Okay.
And then I think the most epic heel turn of all time, Roman just powerbombs this shit out of him.
Would they do that after he comes back from his cancer?
Brother.
They finally got him to be a babyface where people like him.
There's never been a more opportune time for them to pull that than right now if they want to have the same effect that Hogan had.
Sounds so WWE too.
It'd be great because it won't end the show. That's the only problem is it wouldn't end the show.
But it would also be one of those things where I feel like the world would still like Roman Reigns. He'd be like a fun heel.
I think the other thing is that it's rare that we have so many matches that could end the show. Like, I mean, we already know what's ending the show, but it's one of those rare manias where we have so many matches that could do it, where they're not in that much danger if not.
This is going to be an 8-hour mania.
Yeah, it's going to be an absolute marathon. Absolute marathon.
I don't know what a marathon is. A marathon?
Sure, if that's what you want to call it. Anyway.
Kyle had such a look of disdain when you said marathon.
Yeah. We're speaking proper English over here.
Is marathon that was the first name of Ali, right? Before they changed it?
You still call it aluminum. That's not some pretend that proper English is say over here.
Aluminum's not. How do you say it?
Aluminium.
So if they bring out an aluminium trash can,
that's where we put him in.
that's where Josh belongs.
That's probably coming out for Rey Mysterio as a kid, but we'll get back to that.
We can knock out a couple of these that are real quick. Buddy Murphy versus Tony Nese. Tony Nese won a Cruiserweight 205 Live tournament to earn the number one contender.
Who did he beat in the final? What the hell was his name?
I don't know. Honestly, was it Drew Gulak?
No, he was the 205 champion before.
Cedric Murphy.
That's it.
Cedric Alexander.
Cedric Alexander. Cedric Murphy. Is Cedric Murphy one of the kings of comedy?
No, that's Cedric the Entertainer.
Okay.
Cedric Alexander from Charlotte.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was just about to say the black lad from here. Literally from here.
I'll tell you who's going to win this. It's going to be Tony Nese. Because he's from New Jersey.
Oh.
You think they give it him that way?
Yeah, I think it's probably time for Murphy to come up to the main roster, to be honest, because he's done such a great job.
He's had the strap for a while, too.
That, too.
Are they portraying Nese as like a face?
I think if he beats Cedric, probably not.
But Buddy is a heel.
Yeah.
Like, Buddy's been working as a heel all the time, so I'm sure that whoever faces him...
But hometown's going to be a face regardless, right? He's going to get a pop.
It takes a lot.
I like Tony Nese.
Me too. I'm hoping that he gets a pop when the stadium's only like 20% full during the pre-show, and this match is probably going to take place.
Oh, he's absolutely a pre-show match. Let's call out the pre-show matches as we go through too, because we know there's a couple of them.
You know what deserves to be, but won't, is Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin.
Yeah, I agree.
Agreed, but it won't be.
It's going to be tough to watch.
Do you want to go straight to that match real quick? Do you want to talk Kurt Angle with Baron Corbin?
Yeah, sure.
I cannot wait for Baron Corbin to get this win.
Do you think he's going to get the win?
Yes, he should.
Yeah, but when have they done anything that they should? Bray Wyatt should have beaten John Cena.
Well,
I mean,
most vets go out on their back.
They're doing a lot of what they should now.
Yeah, they are starting to listen if you believe them, but also like everyone goes out on their back still. Like, yeah, everyone. I think has done that at the end of their career,
especially from that era. And Angle is definitely from that generation.
Yeah. I feel like they do, especially when they, if I lose, I'm going to end my career. This has already been known that this is going to be his last match. He's
right.
So he might go out on top.
The rumors were that he got to pick whoever he worked with on his retirement run here, but he didn't get a chance. He didn't have a choice in his Mania opponent.
Oh, okay.
That's what the rumor is. But Baron Corbin and him have history and a story, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
And
I want Baron to get the win.
For Baron to be as such a sideshow that he's been, I think it'd be good for Baron Corbin to have it.
They need to get him out of the waiter.
They need to get him out of the TGI Fridays. Like
I would like him to
late
win
night
too,
dance.
but I don't think he will either. I think that Angle will win. I think the same as
You
Carl.
do?
I think he's going to go out on top.
God,
and I think the reason why is they think that he's the least hurt from a loss.
Because he's already losing all the time.
Because he's always losing, but he's also able to look like a legitimate threat.
It's a really good point.
How you said, there's plenty of build around the story.
I don't know if you noticed on Raw or not that he's gotten fucking swole. His arms were
Corbin?
bursting. Yeah.
That's because he wants to get out of that damn shirt.
Yeah, he's trying to just maybe if I grow out the props, it'll fucking let me get rid of it.
Maybe if I look good underneath the shirt, Vince will let me take it off.
Right, because, well, I don't know if... Yeah, God, so he didn't have, like, the weird smiley face belly that he has, which is rich coming from me.
Oh my god.
All right, please settle down, Josh. He's very upset about Baron Corbin potentially getting a win there.
Fuming.
Another pre-show match. Do you think the women's tag team matches? No, there's no way.
No. Oh, I'm having a hard time picking up pre-show. No. Lashley and Balor.
That's
It depends
actually,
if they go with... If they legit...
If your idea
If
happens.
they do have Conor McGregor come in, he's not being a pre-show match. And I'm telling you, Finn tweeted him. Like 2 days ago, Finn tweeted McGregor when he sent his tweet out saying he was retiring, saying, see you on April 8th. Like, that is not just a wild guess from me.
So I guess it depends on how sticky Connor's situation is before that.
That's exactly it.
That,
Yeah, like you said.
and
Yeah.
maybe Joe and Mysterio
Joe Mysterio, I could see it because
in the Battle Royal.
It's definitely the Battle Royal. The Battle Royal is like...
is
pre-show
always... Yeah, that's... And we know... It's so weird
I
though.
don't know because they have Connor Jost and
Colin Jost.
Colin Jost and Michael Shea. You know, since they're kind of big.
But who the fuck cares about those guys?
Yeah,
they're the
like
correspondents.
yeah, but since they're being pushed as correspondents and stuff like that, it feels like it'd be main show thing. You know, because they're using celebrity.
Also worth noting, I believe the pre-show is only 1 hour this year.
Oh.
See, I wonder.
Maybe it might be
I've
one
been seeing. I saw on SmackDown that the pre-show starts at 6 as opposed to 5, so they may only do like 2 matches.
Might do only one because of all the
And that
build up for all the other matches.
I still think maybe that's your Andre the Giant Memorial, right? Because you still have a chance to. That's your free TV.
If you have an hour, that's going to be Murphy Knees. If you have an hour, it's definitely the Cruiserweights.
Yeah,
Definitely.
and that also allows the Battle Royal to be a
main show.
palate cleanser match after a barn burner.
I would still rather have the Battle Royal as a pre-show to be there, but it won't be. Not with those weird celebrity lads in there.
All right, let's get back to the matches.
Let's go. You just said Rey Mysterio and Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
So let's pick up on that one.
I'm excited about that match. I think it's going to be fun.
It's probably going to be a great match. I just don't care about it.
Fair.
But I think it's not Samoa Joe's fault or Rey Mysterio's fault. I would rather see Andrade. Period.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you
it.
hit the nail on the head for me too. Like, it's going to be fun. I know I'll go out of it. I know I'll probably get out of there going like, that was a really good match.
Joe's
Like,
probably going to
it's
attack
that
Dominic.
Yep.
Almost for sure.
For looking like him.
Yeah. If there's ever a claim for an illegitimate son, it wasn't
Eddie.
Guerrero. It was fucking Samoa Joe. But also his son's training to be a wrestler.
Oh, okay.
But then what are we doing with those championships? Like, the US championship is just so...
It's there.
It's just there.
It's there.
It's there. I mean, it's going to be the official, I guess, Open Challenge belt, which I'm okay with. But just call it the television title.
I also just wonder if we feel this way because they have put all their eggs in such huge baskets for the main events.
I don't know. I
As
mean,
opposed to like previous years where they had like a freaking ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship and stuff where like we were hype about the match in general.
yeah. I guess on one hand, I'm happy to not see another ladder match for that kind of stuff because there's always 2 people in there that you know are just in there because they're filling spots and all that other stuff.
Or they do crazy shit. And
they're
going to kill themselves.
Yeah,
so.
exactly.
It's like the Chamber where
Kalisto.
Like Mustafa Ali was in there, so they filled him with Kofi, just filler, you know.
Yeah, it's right, and then right.
I'm just being this prick.
But I think Joe and Mysterio are both like They're both upper. Either of them could be the WWE champion, and it wouldn't be.
I wouldn't look at it and be like,
So for them to be in the U.S., whether the guy makes the belt or the belt makes the guy.
I mean, and they've had good people holding the belt previously. Randy Orton's done it.
Shinsuke, right?
AJ Styles.
Yeah, AJ and Nakamura. And Joe.
So maybe it's just a start. Maybe it's just that. Maybe this is just the step one into him getting back into the main event at some point.
It might be.
And Mysterio's, this is his, not his final Mania, but he's obviously on the back end. Despite him looking better than he's looked in.
Right.
Better than he looked in the late odds.
Fucking ageless,
Like a final.
I want Joe to win, though.
Yeah, I think so, too.
I want Joe's champ more.
I know that Joe is older, but I don't want him to... I don't think he would survive a loss as well. You know? Because I still think he has aspirations as a champion. He's such a good talker.
Yeah, he is.
And they have a combined age of 84. Rey Mysterio's 44, Samoa Joe's 40.
Yeah.
But they could both, like you said, either one of them could be the WWE champion if they wrote them right.
And I think
no one would blink an eye.
They're the third youngest matchup in the
That's
card.
insane.
Get out.
I'm sorry, not third youngest.
Third oldest.
Third oldest. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Get out. Yeah. Well, I mean, the women's tag team would be because there's so many of them.
Yeah, and the triple threat.
So there's a combined age of 250.
Let's go to the women's tag match. It's their first title defense officially, right?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Because they've toured it and they've lost, but they haven't actually put it on the line.
Did they lose on NXT?
Did they even wrestle on NXT?
They may have just gone back.
I think they showed up on one of the episodes, but I don't remember them wrestling.
They definitely lost on SmackDown, this week.
Yeah,
or the week before.
To the Iconics, right?
Yeah. Who else did they lose to?
I think they might have lost to one-on-one Natalia.
Yeah, that's what I
Natalia pinned...
and Beth Phoenix.
Yeah. Natalia pins Bayley, I think, in that match or something.
Maybe.
I forget. They might have wrestled Sasha. Anyway, so we have the Boston Hug, the worst name, Bayley and Sasha Banks versus Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, the Iconics, versus Nia Jax and Tamina, versus the Divas of Doom, Beth Phoenix and Natalia, and the Divas of Doom is a fucking sweet nickname.
It is.
But they should be heel with that name because they're divas, not the women.
So hard to make Beth Phoenix a heel coming back. And,
I know.
And Natalia with her father going into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, it was impossible.
You
couldn't have made it.
The wife thinks that Beth Phoenix's traps are bigger than Finn Balor's and at least half the roster. She's got she's so jacked.
She always has to be.
Yes.
I missed her run completely because I was out on wrestling at the time.
Oh, really?
It was too bad that she was that good around. There's not that many great performers.
Didn't they say? I think they even said that on Raw, right? She left because they ran out of competition. Maybe I heard that on a podcast somewhere.
And the worst part is...
There's just no one there for her to...
The worst part is as she left, 6 months after she left is when AJ Lee and Paige started coming in, and both of those were really the real start of...
Yeah. Right.
They were just so close. And if you could have had AJ, Paige, and Beth, it would have been so fun. And most of them can't hold... Paige, great. AJ, I don't think could hold a candle to what we have now.
No.
But then, it would have kickstarted it.
Oh, and they had a misfire that probably may have kept Beth Phoenix around Karma.
That's
Awesome Kong, when she came over from TNA.
Yeah, they brought her up and then she immediately left. She had a baby, right?
Yeah, she got pregnant right afterwards. She didn't really get to do much.
And
some good karma then.
Yeah.
I think her head just wasn't right after the kid.
Yeah.
I think it just
she's
mentally
in Glow.
she wasn't right.
Yeah, she's great in Glow.
Yeah. But yeah.
I don't particularly care who wins because I think it's going to be really fun. Purely because of the Iconics, because they're comedy gold.
I wouldn't be surprised if they win.
Billie Kay is so fucking great with her comedic timing.
Oh, she's great.
It's fucking insane.
They are fantastic.
They are the Mr. Bean of tag teams.
They are.
And I could see them putting the titles on.
I
they're
could
the
too.
two I want to win, obviously. I'm a big fan of the Iconics.
I could see Beth and Nia basically just taking each other out And
that's going to be the spot, right?
Yeah,
100%.
And then some sort of calamity of error is happening where everybody's down and both the Iconics are run over and pin somebody.
Yeah, kind of like they were trying to do in the Elimination Chamber when they were just running over to everybody and trying to pin when they were all knocked out.
I wonder if they might... No, go on.
Oh, then lose in the next pay-per-view.
Probably.
I wonder if they may have Bayley and Sasha botch to have them set up a SummerSlam one-on-one, because they've been teasing that for about 2 years.
Yeah, but I feel like there's been no subtlety or even they haven't shown anything on screen that leads you to believe that they might be frustrated at all. Like the way that they've done that. So either it's going to be a big surprise if they do something like that, or they're just going to keep that in their pocket. And I don't doubt that they'll always have that to pull.
Yeah,
it's going to be the parachute
card,
right?
Yeah, I would love to see them do this, and I don't even know if it's possible in the rules. That WWE makes up the rules all the time, but the way you're talking about the Iconics and their comedic timing, they're also more serious than the hell were they called? Breeze and Fandango.
Oh,
Fashion Police. They were also more seriously taken than them. So, putting a title on them is a bit more realistic than Janet or Breeze, right? But I'm just thinking, I don't know what the rules are. I don't know if they could even do this or just nail it. But have everybody take each other out and somehow have them both as the legal women and have one of them pin the other to win the straps. How iconic team-based would that be to have them win it that way?
Yeah.
The scummiest, but funniest way you could nail. And it would have to be Billie Kay tagging in the second time. Just having that realization that, Nia's out in her corner. And she, looks at Peyton, and they look at each other, and they're
slaps Nia on the shoulder, or, barely touches her real gentle to
she's proper scared of her, so she just taps her with one finger and just runs in and throws herself on the floor. It'd be incredible.
It would be awesome, but it would get, the whole internet community would be so pissed, being they're devaluing the championship.
Then I say do it even more.
They probably, if all it is
it'd be so fun.
They at least deserve a title once, and if all they did was, if they did that just for them to lose on Tuesday, totally cool.
And the thing is, WWE have almost played themselves, right? Because the Iconics are supposed to be heels, but people like them. And secondly, they've also put out so many YouTube videos on the Iconics that make them insanely likable.
And they have the whole country of Australia behind them.
And that.
They're getting, a shit ton of hits on all their different social media.
They're not, they're
also hot
at some point.
Yes.
They're also hot. Peyton
really
Royce.
Fucking funny.
It's just hilarious, man.
I'm excited for the match. I don't really care who wins. I just know it's probably not going to be Natalya and Beth Phoenix.
Probably not.
That's
probably not smart to put a title on a person coming back for one match.
Unless, again, they do the same turnaround, right? They Zack Ryder it, and they just they have them lose the rematch. Let's see, who haven't we covered here?
Triple H Batista.
Triple H and Batista.
I'm really excited for this.
This version of Batista is my fucking spirit animal, dude. He is great.
You missed his heel run right before he left the first time when he lost to John Cena after he'd beaten John Cena at WrestleMania. Oh, it was great. It was
when he came back from injury. Then he was the heel, or when
yes. Okay. Yes, this was 2010-ish.
This wasn't Evolution Batista, right? This was the one before that.
This is the one after he left after his... He was really good as a heel at that time.
Yeah, I watched some old pay-per-view once, and it had a build to one of his matches, and so it had one of the promos he did in it, and it was great shit.
Yeah.
He's been good for a long time, and he's nailed it. It's unreal.
They're sitting in that king's chair and, doing the interview, all of it.
Yeah, I'm totally here for Batista. My fear for this match, though, is it's probably going to go 25, 30 minutes, and I hope that Triple H might get blown up during that.
I think that Triple H wins, though.
Oh, yeah.
DX got
retiring.
Yeah. DX is in the Hall of Fame this year, right? Mm-hmm. So, Shawn Michaels' bald ass is going to run out and pull some shit. And then
Ric Flair's going to come out.
Star-Lord's going to come out. Fuck everything up again. It doesn't make sense for Triple H to win. but it makes less sense if Batista does.
Yeah.
I don't know, other than the publicity part, right? Like if like Batista's already one of the biggest stars in movies right now.
Especially 2 weeks before Endgame comes out.
God.
Right, that's exactly it. It's the best advertisement they could ask for. Because Drax is so likable too. Like, his character
But Drax also got dusted. Spoiler alert. So, he can't channel that Drax energy. Maybe he loses. I hope Batista wins.
Well, he's nothing can go over his head because he's too fast.
His reflexes are much too good.
Oh, I would love Batista to win, but I think Triple H will, because he ain't going to retire from wrestling. Although, if he's going to pick someone to retire to, like, go out on his back to, it may be Batista. But I feel like Triple H is, like, the sort of person that will go out to build someone.
He'd want
Batista doesn't.
I feel like he'd want it to be, like, a Finn or someone that he brought in.
This is a total favor to Batista because Batista wanted one more match. Because Batista's 51. So
Batista has been
just wild, because he looks better than half the roster.
Yeah, he does.
But, yeah, he's...
I'm going to start dressing like
this is just his...
like that.
This is his swan song. This is him. This is swan song. He wants just one more match. He wanted it to be against Triple H.
Just going up to those people we've been talking about for the last 3 weeks and going, "Give me what I want."
Yeah, give me what I want.
My terms.
Do we cover the Andre at all? Do we think this is just one big skit for Braun?
If I gave you Braun versus the Field, who do you take?
Braun. I think this is just entirely to have Braun win and get.
I think that Braun's going to eliminate them, but get distracted by them, and somebody like Andrade is going to win it.
I won't be sad about that either.
I think they're going to run it back, and they're going to have Gronkowski help Mojo Rawley, who's trying to redo his career, and relaunch whatever character it is he's been yelling at in the mirror. And they kickstart it. And Gronk helps him, and Mojo completes the heel turn by attacking Gronk in the ring afterwards. Total fantasy book.
And Mojo becomes the first two-time Andre the Giant Battle Royal winner.
Yep.
God.
The most meaningless
the fucking hype beast, yeah.
And then we don't have to wait much longer to find out the McGregor-Gronkowski tag team name.
Yeah,
I really want
certain.
Braun to put his greatest Royal Rumble title up for grabs and...
Comes out wearing it.
Yeah.
There's a belt you haven't seen since
he has like a radio flyer wagon that he's carrying his trophies out on. He's got a collection of them.
Is there going to be a women's one? Because there was before.
There was last year.
Remember that vagina trophy?
Oh god, that was hideous.
It was awful.
Was that the Mae Young?
It was the Moolah, but then they changed it because of all the backlash.
Right. All the backlash.
To
the women's.
It was just the
women's Battle Royal Invitational or something like that.
Yeah.
Probably right, because Moolah was a cunt.
Yeah.
There's a lot of women who ain't wrestling. So
I hope they do. Maybe that's a pre-show thing then. Something just to
They may not even announce it until Tuesday or something.
Yeah, it's kind of tricky because we're a week and a half out. It's March 27th for anyone that's listening and curious where we're at here. I think Braun wins, I guess. You know what? Y'all take Braun, I'll take the Field.
I didn't take Braun, I took Andrade.
Yeah, he took Andrade.
So you're Kevin Owens,
You're taking Braun-Drade.
Braun-Drade, yeah. Morph into one person.
Then I guess I'll take Braun and you'll take the Field then.
Okay.
I don't care enough, really.
Shane and The Miz. I just want to see Miz's dad get choked out again. Or get, choked. Because that guy's got the most rubber face.
And Shane McMahon is the greatest wrestler ever. He's taken The Undertaker to the limits. He's taken AJ Styles to the limits.
I really dig him when he's having Greg Hamilton to do it. He's like, say it like you mean it.
Yes.
I'm watching
the world. He just fucking watch all of it.
I do like heel Shane McMahon. You need a heel McMahon. It's just...
And they've done a hell of a job in actually making Miz a likeable face. This is the first time I think the crowd has got behind him as a face ever.
Yeah, because his dad, that no one really liked before, it's the whole city of Cleveland's making a turnaround. The fucking Browns, now the Miz. The Miz wins, right?
He should.
Falls count anywhere, so Shane botches a table spot from the upper turnbuckle, or the top turnbuckle.
Shane's kids come out and try to attack Miz's dad.
Ooh, you know what? That'd be great.
That would be amazing.
It's like a lumberjack match, but it's just their families.
Maurice is out there.
Maurice has the kid in one hand. And just
she's got a baby Bjorn on.
Ooh, that's even better.
Can I take a different name for the Andre?
Yeah.
No.
Nicholas.
Ooh, Nicholas comes out.
in an incredible turn, comes back when it's just Braun and the two
Turns heel on Braun?
Turns heel in the ring and throws him over.
They've already buried Braun enough to put him in this match.
That'd be the best.
I'm here for Nicholas being the, and him only just showing up once a year with that trophy.
Just one.
Cuts a promo on him, tells him how he abandoned him after Mania last year.
I think Nicholas is a better bet than Andrade.
I think he probably is.
Maybe that's where Lars Sullivan makes his debut, though.
Maybe.
Finally.
If he
can shake this.
I was about to say, but he gets nervous at the top of the ramp and runs back.
Pissed himself like a Drake Maverick. Miz wins, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, me too.
It makes the most sense.
AJ Styles Randy Orton is probably going to be a fucking classic.
They're going to burn the barn down.
I think it's going to be great. I think it's going to be real fun. That promo that they cut 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was the best. It was the best promo I've heard either of them.
The whole essentially like WWE brought up indie wrestler stuff.
Yeah.
It's the best
because they count my weeks. I just want to make sure.
Because they've tried. Because like when Cena and AJ feuded, they tried kind of the same-ish.
Yeah, they did.
And Cena was so like, I respect everybody. So like it didn't have any play. But Randy was just like shitting on all of it. And he did the too sweet thing.
And you gotta know that like Orton probably thinks it halfway through too because he's a bit of a dick.
Yeah.
So he probably really does.
Oh, big
he believes what he's saying. Which makes it even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's absolutely tried to keep from making eye contact on WrestleMania weekend with an indie wrestler because he just fucking despises him.
Yeah.
And probably did it to AJ Styles, like in an airport, just like fucking dismissed him.
Well, and I think that this match has
as he's vaping
the best. He has a cutoff hoodie on.
In the airport. He's got Crocs, so he doesn't have to take off his shoes. He just slides them off to walk through security.
Oh god!
Listen, bro.
Well, I think this match has the potential to be really, really good because it's let's face it.
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles hasn't had the best luck when it comes to Mania opponents. He had Jericho his first year, and they oddly had Jericho win. He had McMahon his next year, which
they did
because they needed someone to carry Shane, and he had to do it.
Then last year they had Shinsuke, and that was built up so much to being like this is going to be,
and they gave him like 15 minutes.
And it was a terrible feud,
and it ended awful too.
Yeah, so this one I think it's a little bit under the radar, where it's going to live up to expectations and be more. Yeah,
it'll probably end up being so good that we get beaten down with that rivalry for the next 5 months.
Probably.
And I guess there's worse rivalries to have.
I feel like Seth Dolph.
Yeah, just
where it was great.
Or Ms. Dolph, where it's just like over. Or Dean, was it Dean and Dolph? Or it was right before Dean went back to Raw. It was just a beating. They just kept fucking fighting.
Or back in your dark days,
Randy John Cena, or just
that, and then Dolph and Kofi Kingston.
God, that was the worst. That was like a 4-year saga.
God, I don't remember that at all. Luckily, I guess.
That was when Kofi was Jamaican.
Yeah, it was.
Looking up here because we're getting towards the main events.
I still got to go Lashley Balor.
We have no tag team titles on the line here either. Do we think the Usos or the Revival defend their titles?
That's a good point. And
Revival might end up defending against Ricochet and Aleister Black, which is just a weird use of them.
No, I think probably. I mean, it's worked. They're getting huge pops.
They are.
Yeah, they are.
So I can't. It was weird at first. Now it wouldn't be so weird, and it's a good way for them to, whenever they do drop the title, just split their own way. I dig it.
Do you think the Usos have the New Day after last night? They just beat every tag team in SmackDown in a gauntlet.
Except for the Usos, because
how can the New Day not want to challenge? How can they not have the right to challenge the Usos now?
So let's get
right.
I mean, I don't know.
Let's get to Daniel Bryan Kofi.
Yeah.
Huh? Okay. So someone pitched the idea that Kofi still doesn't have that match as of right now. That he thinks it's gonna be something like, oh, by the way, you're going to WrestleMania, but you've got to win the Battle Royal to get in the title, or some bullshit like that.
Didn't he say when he got in the limo that he
I thought so. I thought so too, but I could see them adding a stipulation. Someone even I saw a suggestion that was, if he wins at WrestleMania, then the New Day have to break up. Some ridiculous stipulation like that.
I don't think they'll do it because I don't think the New Day are ever breaking up.
I hope.
I really don't.
Yeah.
If they're gonna do a breakup, I would honestly want it to be a
mutual.
Like we just spoke with Aleister Black and Ricochet, just being like, cool, we're gonna all do our own thing now.
Yeah,
and
we'll support each other, but
right, like the way that Shield was for a touch when they weren't all heel.
Yeah,
it was just for like a month or two.
Right.
Yeah. I hope Daniel Bryan wins.
Yeah,
and I think I was on Team Kofi for a while. And my opinion was swayed by a podcast I was listening to. I had never heard this podcast before. I was just kind of bored doing food prep this week. And someone brought up the B+ player bit, right? And it's not necessarily as it relates to the storyline.
Yeah. It's not a dig on Kofi.
But this is the WWE Championship, right? Mm-hmm. So Macho Man, Hogan, a long line of champions. Austin. Brock, Austin. Hell, has Reigns even had it? Didn't he have? I thought he had the Universal.
He's had both, I think.
Yeah, he won this guy from. From Triple H at the Dallas.
All right, so like Reigns, Rollins, all those guys. Kofi is awesome, but he's never been at that level ever. And I guess if he wins the title, you could say he's now at that level. But Daniel Bryan, when he had his B+ player storyline, had the title before. That was his second WWE Championship.
He had the World Championship before.
The WWE World Championship.
No, the World Heavyweight, the big gold belt.
Okay,
so big fat gold.
Okay, so the World Championship, still a top title on another brand, right?
By that same argument, though, Mark Henry had never been a champion,
and he ended up putting in one of the best. Yeah. In fact, per our podcast,
yes,
the best.
One of the greatest runs.
So, do you think that Kofi's had that run to deserve the championship then? Or has he simply shown up in a match and made the most of it and deserves the title opportunity? I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve it, but I don't...
See, that's the thing, is that Henry, I didn't even really think that he totally deserved the title opportunity.
Him winning that title off of Orton when he won, Henry winning that,
he won a couple matches beforehand.
Shocker.
Yeah.
I think the only win he'd had before that was pinning Sheamus, and Sheamus was being squashed at that point.
So do you think that
it was a joke?
Was that face Sheamus too, where he was
it was just stupid.
It felt like they were just building Henry up to be a bad guy that Orton could take down. Yeah. And when he won, and then just went Hall of Pain and injured people after person. It was an amazing run, but it was never prefaced beforehand.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it's just there's so many pokers in the fire with how hot some of the other feuds are that's why I think that like Kofi is in some ways the least to me that I don't know. I just don't.
To me, I honestly think the Rollins Lesnar is the least hot out of those out of the big three.
I agree with you.
Just because everybody's so sick of Lesnar.
I guess right. I'm guessing like
and people are now asking questions because Roman's back.
The end game, or rather the path they take after a win. If it's Seth, I can see how that goes, right? Which is going to be good. If it's Becky, I can see how that goes. That's going to be good. If it's Kofi, I'm cool with him being a Hall of Famer that just didn't win the national championship, the WWE Championship.
I could see them totally doing with Kofi what they did with Christian.
Yeah.
When they had him win, and it was super awesome when he beat Alberto Del Rio, and then he was like, yeah, I'm going to defend it all the time, and he lost it to Orton, and it was just like, I need another match, just one more match. And eventually turned Christian heel. Yeah, he got his glory, and then then he immediately lost it. I could totally see that happening on Tuesday. Like, if he wins, I could see him losing.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I don't think there's any future that I see Kofi being a long-time champion or champion come SummerSlam.
Sure. That's totally fine to me.
It's really going to depend when that match is good. I like him. I mean,
I've been a huge Kofi fan since he came in. And I really, like, when he had that chance to make it into the main event and he botched that one finish in Orton, and I loved how they did that with Orton.
Yeah, they're replaying the stupid stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Kofi wins, and I think that he deserves the win. I think it's an accumulation of a long, long, long time.
And I think that Daniel Bryan gets it right back, I think.
Probably. Yeah. And I think it's a very, very, very low-key nod to the fact that they have been kind of racist for the last 50 years.
Yeah, I think...
I think that's also a part of it, to be honest.
You say that, but Bobby Lashley's the champion right now. I wouldn't be surprised if the match ends up in a non-finish, and like you end up having Daniel Bryan and a third person eventually coming in, because there's probably going to be New Day and Eric Rowan shit. And whether that's Bray or fucking Luke Harper or whoever is his green...
Sister Abigail.
Sister Abigail herself. It probably fins in... I don't know. It's going to be interesting. I'm curious where they're going to put it on the card, too.
Sure.
Because it's definitely not going to go on after Brock and Seth.
Might go on first.
Do you think they might just start with it?
God, that would be cool, too.
Let's hop to... let's knock that one out. Bobby Lashley and Finn Balor.
I think Finn gets it back.
You do?
Yeah, I think he does.
God, I'm trying to think. I'm trying to put logic in an illogical company and booking,
especially with these two.
Well, yeah, I mean,
because I'm just trying to think.
There's no reason to put the title back on Lashley. I thought
no, it was
right.
Totally
unless you want.
So if in a dream world though we have face Seth Rollins champion, face Becky champion. Face Finn champion, Samoa Joe's a heel, Daniel Bryan's or Kofi Kingston. That's a lot of faces to have champions, and I could see WWE making their decision based on that, not on who actually deserves it.
Yeah,
I think Bobby with Leo Rush is a fucking good gimmick right now as a heel.
Oh yeah,
it's because Leo Rush is a great
he's
man.
Fucking money.
So much better than I am.
Kyle, you did a really good Leo Rush impression. Go ahead. Can you do it?
No.
I think
Bobby Lashley.
The man of the hour. I think Bobby Lashley wins, just simply because it's going to balance something.
You know, I could totally see that too. There's a lot that could happen in that match. I kind of feel bad for Finn that he's been pushed back down the card after what he did against.
Yeah, and it's not like him and Lashley have had bad matches. It's just Lashley's a fucking charisma vacuum.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
yeah.
He can't carry a feud.
No. If it wasn't for Leo, we'd probably have forgot the match was.
Oh, brother, I would already been checked out.
Yeah.
We have two more matches.
Maybe they'll bring Jinder Mahal into it like they did this past.
God, you know what? I'm here for it. I'm all about Jinder.
I like Jinder.
I like Jinder as champion.
Yeah, he can't hinder Jinder.
Let's go to Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. We have a listener question from @Glenn_311 who said, how many Claymores will McIntyre administer against Roman Reigns at WrestleMania? Is it possible that he could knock him back out of remission?
It'll be one less than Roman administers super punches.
I wonder if... Because they've booked Drew strong.
They really have.
But I don't think they booked him like Roman needs 5 Superman punches strong.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't doubt that Drew McIntyre lands 3 fucking Claymores and
Roman's
kicking out still.
All of them. Yep.
If he can fight back against leukemia, then a Claymore's nothing.
That's going to be the argument. That would be the argument when he eats 3 F5s too.
Yeah, that's what's really cool about the match is from the perspective of Roman Reigns being the chosen one that everybody booed, and then Drew McIntyre was previously the chosen one that nobody liked either. And
kind of zero charisma,
which is kind of like
funny because he's turned himself around.
He's been great.
He's been great, and it's because of his work on the Indies. He was really good. But
NXT.
But
before he got hurt.
Yeah.
Everybody was. I was hype as shit for him to come back up back when he was in it.
He appeared at PWG and wrestled God, I can't remember the wrestler's name, but he's a guy who hadn't wrestled in America in like 2 years now because his visa, he's a Canadian, he had visa problems.
Gotcha.
But he was this kid that was like, he was 30, looked like he was 21, and he had like a martial arts gimmick. And he was a legit, like, a badass martial artist, but he was just like this no tone, no definition, just very plain looking guy. And so he got in the ring with Drew Galloway on the Indies. And, like, Drew Galloway dismissed him, and this dude took him to the fucking edge over and over and over and was basically kicking his ass. And it was such a cool fucking match that Drew Galloway did not need to give to that guy.
Right.
And, like, it sold me on him. I'll forever be a Drew McIntyre fan. I just hate that they changed his music, because his music used to be so sick. Yeah. And now it's pretty spare.
But I think Reigns wins.
I do, too. I wish that they built it like Former Chosen One.
With the cancer stuff, though, I think they had to go with that angle. Because that's the angle that's going to get mainstream media. Yeah. However cynical that is. Yeah. Mania is all about the mainstream media, and what better than the cancer survivor.
Do you think Drew tries to get in Roman's head and comes out to Radioactive by the Imagine Dragons?
Imagine him paying a license. That's just for one match.
That not anybody would really get. No. But it's actually the...
He comes out dressed as Atom Bomb.
Yeah! With the nuclear... That's so great.
The stupid goggles on.
He kind of has the same build, too. So it works.
Same hair.
Except thicker legs. Drew's got a fucking thick leg thing, because my wife won't let me not know that every time he gets on. So I'm just laying there, like, on the couch flexing, like, yeah, I know. This is really impressive, huh?
You're doing thigh workouts.
Yeah, I'm doing jumping squats, like, as we're watching, just like, gotta get better, stronger. Drew Marty tired. Roman Reigns wins, I think. For sure.
Before we get to the last one, I've got some questions.
Okay.
They're very quick. Do we see Cena, Rock, or Taker at Mania?
I think you have a better chance of seeing Cena pop up in the Andre the Giant Battle Royal.
That's a great shout. That's why I asked the question. You see, the brains have got the answer. I think that's a great shout.
Oh, well, fuck off. You saw him the brains?
Just inject the room.
He is the brains.
I think that's a great shout. You can have Braun be distracted and Cena will take him out.
I hope we don't see Taker. I don't think we will see Taker.
I don't need to see him again.
I don't think so either.
Me either.
You might see The Rock because Elias is doing his little concert deal.
God, I forgot about that.
I can see Rocky interrupting Elias's concert. I can see it.
But it could just as well be Cena. They just kind of already did that, right?
Yeah.
Kind of hope to see.
Although that was so fun. Cena or Elias was a lot of fun when they had that going on too.
Well, it could also be where they have Elias out there to do his concert and he gets interrupted by the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. That's how everybody parades out.
God. I just wanted to put it out there because they're three very big names that you usually see in and around Mania, and two of them especially with Cena and Taker, and neither of them are there this year. So
that's going to be really cool seeing them or not seeing them.
Yeah, I think so too.
Because it's got to be if neither of them are on the show, that'll be the first WrestleMania that neither Taker or Cena was on the show since.
I don't even want to put a number on that.
Taker's first,
probably
like the one before.
No,
Taker.
He missed one or two for injury.
But was Cena there?
No.
And when those injuries.
No, I bet he was. When Taker was injured and didn't make it, I bet you Cena was on it. Because Cena was on every Mania card from like.
We'll have to do some of the research online.
But I bet you
they did.
Like they did.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
No, that was it. Because they're the big boys aren't in there, and everybody thought Angle might face Cena, and he didn't. It didn't end up going on. So I just thought I'd throw it out there.
The last match is chosen to be last on the show. As per everything they've released, but you never know what happens on the day of.
Yeah.
Raw champion Ronda Rousey versus Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair.
Versus the SmackDown
champion Charlotte Flair. But I think they were pretty adamant when she won it about the match being for the Raw Championship specifically. I think is what the commentary was saying.
Do you think that they're pushing towards what we originally imagined, which also takes away Boss and Hug winning
Before we talk...
Boston Hug winning their championship. They win it at that point.
Before we talk about necessarily the match and who we think wins...
Damn, I didn't even think about that. That does present the 4 horsewomen holding all the straps at the end of the show.
That's a really good point, actually. But after Charlotte's been shitting all over Becky, would she, after just getting pinned, because she's going to eat the pin, if probably.
Maybe. Maybe makes her tap. Or maybe makes Ronda tap. I don't know, because this could be Ronda's last match.
Ronda hasn't lost, though, right? Like, she's never lost.
She's never lost, but this could be her last match.
Goldberg. Just an absolute Goldberg level run. But better in the ring.
If you get towards the end, and Charlotte and Becky and Ronda just can't get a winner, and Becky and Charlotte just look at each other with the mutual respect stuff and just both kick shit out of Ronda.
Yeah.
And then have Becky pin Ronda.
I could see that. And it being like, okay, now it's you and me. We are in this, she did.
Yeah, and then that also leads to the singles rematch, and you get Becky Ronda properly, and you only need to build it for 3 weeks, and you can then have a strong champion on SmackDown, and you can possibly go back down the Asuka route if you want to.
So,
and you could end Mania with the 4
and that would be ace. Because they've never ever danced away from the fact that they're still mates. They just are both ambitious beyond belief.
The only way I want them to end Mania with the 4 horsewomen of WWE doing a curtain call, basically, would be if Ronda, after losing, having her other 3 horsewomen of MMA come out and just beat the living shit out of them, and that's how they end the show.
I think
set up SummerSlam.
I think that's more likely to happen the Raw after Mania.
That's a good call.
Because I think they're
going to
have
the proper call up.
And you want the picture. You want the picture of the 4.
Yeah. Not that you can't take that picture and then because they're going to be standing in that ring.
Yeah, I think they end it that way.
5 minutes.
But it's also Mania, and you want to send everybody home happy.
That'll be interesting. I think so.
That's Brock.
It got brought up that perhaps they put the title on Charlotte because my first instinct was, fuck yes, they're listening to me. And they're going to unify these
titles. Well, were we mates when they did the brand split at the very beginning?
I've never been your mate. No, but we watched that SummerSlam together.
The draft together.
We watched the draft together, but that SummerSlam, the first SummerSlam after, I think we were all together at your house, right, Kyle?
Very possible.
Because it was 3 years ago.
Because when we were doing it, when they did the brand split, I remember telling Mike that I want them to do just one title. I wanted them to do one women's and one tag.
Yeah.
And have the tags on one show and the women on the other.
Exactly.
That was what I wanted. And none of it ever happened, and now they're teasing us with it, but now I'm more keen to see the 4 horsewomen at the end, so now I don't want it anymore. You ruined it for me.
You're welcome.
Well, and the argument against the unification part is simply, one, they're still going to have 2 different shows on 2 different channels. So is Fox cool with getting no champion, no women's champion necessarily?
That week. Yeah.
Right. And there's also, I guess Charlotte Flair did a corporate Fox Sports gig 2 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. So they're high on her, and they're expecting, the Dirt Sheet writers are expecting Charlotte to be the anchor for SmackDown. And no matter what show she's on, she's going to be the SmackDown. Yeah, either or, right?
At this point. As big as, if not bigger than most of the ones on there. But Brian, that's what I mean. Brian would be the male side, and Charlotte would be the female side.
Yeah, but I think you could probably argue for for a casual, Charlotte Flair's name recognition on SmackDown might be greater than almost anybody else on that thing, even including AJ Styles, because he wasn't in WWE for so long.
And on Fox.
And it's on Fox.
Agreed. I think that probably with the way they're building these 3 women up,
does Alicia Fox go to SmackDown?
Yes, absolutely, and plays a gimmick. But she
dresses up like the Fox football guy, the robot.
And she changes her music to "What does the Fox say?"
Or the NFL on Sunday on Fox, which is like dun 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 dun.
No, then when she loses, they play the injury music.
Every time. That would play every week.
I really want in this match. We all want Becky to win, right? Because it's been 6 months. It's been fucking killer.
Becky's bae. We all know that.
Becky is bae for
She's been so good, man. And how badass would she look at the end of that? Just beating them both.
It'd be great. And I want y'all, before we just talk any further, to acknowledge that none of this would have been possible without Nia Jax, who busted Becky Lynch open and made her even more iconic than she was going to for Survivor Series.
Well, she wasn't allowed to wrestle because of it.
Yeah, well...
So you know what I'm saying? A broken clock is...
Let me ask you, do you think there's going to be a picture of Becky Lynch bloody in that promo?
Absolutely.
Gotta.
I think Nia...
Video package?
It was one of my
is going to be the
things.
thread that tied all this together.
It was one of my favorite parts of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Was Becky looking
How badass she looks.
Yeah. It was like when Orton won that match after getting busted open, not on purpose, like accidentally in that ladder match that time. You remember that? And like, God, that was cool as shit. I like a bit of blood sometimes.
I kind of want...
The hard way.
Yeah.
I kind of want Charlotte Flair to win in this very, very small aspect. Not to be contrarian or anything else. Purely because, boy, would it be the heel. The heel part of it. The amount of booze is... She would finally be the level heel that her father was back in the day.
Oh, God, yeah.
Because she would be enemy number one across
Holding
the
both titles above Becky's broken body.
Yeah, and doing like the wipe her feet thing at Becky, like at the end.
Her dad comes out, tries to kiss Becky again.
Yeah. And she does an awkward promo again telling him to leave the ring. Just do it! Like, leave it! It's just, Rick's crying just because
Because he's hammered.
Because of anything.
Yeah, just because he's...
Because the son caught his watch the wrong way and he starts crying.
Batista comes out, yells at Charlotte Flair, says that he wants Ric Flair to leave on his terms.
Yeah. I think Becky ending, if they didn't do any of that Four Horsewomen shit, purely from where the storylines led us now and how hot she is, it would be, I think, the closest thing since Bryan won at 30.
Okay.
And was it Guerrero that won at 20 or Benoit that won at 20?
Benoit won at 20.
And everybody's going ape shit because it's finally like
all
those smarts that are there are going to actually be
Yeah.
rewarded.
And you
right?
know what? I think
And not unlike Rollins 4 years ago, right? Or was it 31?
31, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
when he cashed in and swung the belt around his head again, dead.
Fucking epic.
I think
great.
this particular match, outside of Bryan and all of them, I think you put this on the set. If Becky wins and they burn the house down like they could, I think this is a bigger match for the WWE than any of the others.
I agree.
Culturally,
yeah. It
Well, and-
makes Becky a household name almost immediately.
Well, and
because
besides-
Ronda already is.
Besides
And
that,
Flair already is that halfway.
we all expect them to have a fantastic match, too. So, like, for anyone that is still not here for the women's wrestling thing, and admittedly, like, when I saw it was Natalya versus Bayley or Natalya versus Sasha, whoever it was on Raw this week, I fast-forwarded through it because they don't
that
have
match
anything.
before.
Right, and I've seen the match before, but also there's not, like... The problem with women's wrestling now isn't that there's really any bad wrestling down the way. It's that it's all meaningless except for one or two feuds, right?
Yeah.
So, like...
It's still all based around titles.
Right.
And that's the
purely.
growth they've got to get.
Yeah, that's the next hurdle.
And maybe this is it's going to be a good step in that direction, but also in general, having people not fucking bored at the women's division.
And I think that's why they've got the old Bailey Sasha seed in their pocket for whenever they want to try and show. See, we can do these ones that don't matter with a strap.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think, that's true. And I think you have, like, the tag team division is now what the women's division was in terms of your bathroom match, because no one cares about those titles.
Especially the Raw side.
Especially the Raw.
Because if you have the Usos
How
and the
hot
New
is that
Day,
crowd gonna be though when all three of those women are in the middle of the ring staring at each other?
mate, I'm going to be off. In the house. In the house, I'm going to be getting excited.
I'm kind of
because
bummed.
I've been waiting to see this proper for a long time.
I'm kind of... All I want out of this match is Ronda Rousey to walk out last. Please let the champion walk out last. And I'm afraid...
I think she absolutely would.
Right, except that Joan Jett's playing the intro. So is Joan Jett going to stand there for 2 entrances and then play it on? Because I could also see them putting Becky out last, which is the dumbest shit. That fucking
champion needs to go out last.
And she's the one defending.
So she should be
last. They can have the band set up. They just don't have to have the singer. Like, they don't have to have anyone out there until they're both out there.
I'd rather the idea of Joan Jett just being really
obnoxious.
confused and watching Charlotte Flair just walk down.
It would also be incredibly obnoxious to have them have to wait for the band to come out.
That's would be funny. They just roll them out like
it would be
like the Kevin Owens show thing that Braun flipped over. They're just wheeling it out.
Yeah,
I would really like it if Joan Jett and them are just standing there on the side of the stage, and Becky Lynch is out there taunting him when she comes out.
How drunk's Joan Jett going to be?
So drunk.
It's going to sound awful.
Oh, it's going to be bad.
It's going to sound
it's not
awful.
going to be great. I wonder if we're going to get any other live performances.
We got Elias.
For theme tunes, I mean.
Hologram Lemmy for Triple H.
This is the full Motorhead band, but
you might
he's
get
got
the Batista lads though if he goes for what's his music? Is he still going to be walking alone in his music?
Probably.
Who sings that?
Saliva?
No.
Oh,
is that Saliva?
All right.
Is Josie Scott still doing things?
That wraps up the WrestleMania preview, which we knew was going to go longer than we anticipated because we love wrestling. What we had on the dock here was the team nickname March Madness. We're at 1 hour 25 minutes. I can't count.
It is by Saliva.
Huh, fair enough.
So we're at 85 minutes, which is pretty close to the runtime we have every week.
Happy days.
Do y'all want to call this and shelf the tournament for 2 weeks from now when we've also going to be talking maybe Mania results? Or do you want to knock out the first round now and then we...
Shelf it.
Shelf it.
We need Nasty here for it.
Yeah, Kyle.
And not only that, but if we want to do that,
Kyle from Texas worked so hard on this.
We can do the first round next week if you want. If you've got time, we can do a 45-minute show with the first round.
We can do that next week.
We can do the whole tournament next week if you want.
If that's what you want to do, I'm free.
And it would coincide with getting into the Final Four.
Are we all down?
Yeah.
And then...
All down? Shaking hands?
Shaking hands? Shake. I'll shake your hand too, I guess. There you go.
And then we can focus on the Mania results the week after.
Okay, even better.
Unpack that along with whatever else we've got.
Okay, then that's what we'll do. Hey everyone, thank you for listening. Follow us on Twitter at SportsTrebuchet. Email us at sportstrebuchetpod@gmail.com or visit us at sportstrebuchet.com. And please rate, review, subscribe.